welcome everyone. You're listening to and perhaps watching Calling The Audible. I'm your host, Peeze Delarice. Mo Khan has disappeared.
Here.
If you find him, call his family and tell them you're probably very worried. How's it going, Simon?
Hey, how's it
You're
going?
here in place of Mo Khan.
Yeah, I am Mo Khan. Yes. Last time we did this whole I am somebody, we offended like 17 people.
That was the weirdest thing.
So maybe we should do it anymore.
That was the weirdest thing for people to be offended by.
But it's fine because they don't play in this division, so they won't know.
Yeah.
I am Mo Khan.
Stefano, who are you?
I am someone that is not me.
French vanilla.
French vanilla.
Eeks, how you doing, buddy?
You know when they say that people see Superman? I am the first option.
That doesn't even make sense.
Because when you see Superman, what do you say?
Where's Clark Kent?
No.
You,
Well, I did.
you say hi?
No.
If you're polite?
No.
It's
You
a
say,
bird, it's a
how's it
plane.
going, Superman?
No.
Jeez.
What's
It's
up?
a
Simon got
bird.
it.
It's a plane.
It's a blur.
Yeah.
You say, hey, it's
Yeah.
Dean Cain.
No.
Nice.
Why Dean Cain?
That's my favorite Superman.
Ah,
That's the Superman
that
of
is
my
super
childhood.
old.
Yeah, that was like 55 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very old.
Yo, did
I
Dean
was
Cain get
negative
fat?
30.
Probably.
Can you find a picture of Dean Cain and put it up on the screen, please? Thank you.
Maybe he'll be on a bike.
That's the best way to tell them to shut up.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be on a bike.
Find a picture of Dean Cain. You think Eagle will ever find out that's what I do to just get him to change subject or to stop talking?
Well, if he's not,
They're the
paying
forfeit
attention,
this
I
week.
don't know.
Yeah.
In the highest divisions, that's the worst.
So, since it was my game, we'll get him. It's not a new picture. 2016.
It feels like a few years now.
So,
I feel like
I
that's
mean,
a
he's
very
still attractive,
recent
though.
Superman.
yeah.
But wait, is this? You gotta get on the screen for everyone, though, Eagle. Come on, be better.
Dean Cain. Oh, look at that first picture. It's fantastic.
So, about the forfeit. At least they warned us before, so it wasn't a no-show.
Mhm.
We didn't have to travel to the game, so there's that. It sucks because we lose a game,
Yeah.
but at least like we didn't get it's a 10 p.m. Sunday night game. If I would have had to go there to realize at 10:01 they're not showing up, I would have been pissed.
But so how come do you know why they didn't show up?
The only information I had is the quarterback Ryan Lanowski couldn't make it. There are only basically like 5 or 6 guys on the team. You couldn't find a suitable backup for him and other players to show up, so he's like, yeah, fuck it.
Well, at least they told you.
Yeah, they told us at like 3:00. So
Mhm.
they seen it, and everybody was like home or whatever. We had time to reach everybody. Nobody traveled, so that's the only pro I could find.
It's a good pro. What about 60 points in your name?
Yeah, but no stats though.
That's
You know
true.
what the first thing someone told me is?
What?
I think it's Sean Abram that said that. He said, "Oh, you just pissed away your QB of the Year award because you're missing a game." I said, first of all, I haven't played my crossover games yet, so the 10 picks are not thrown yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I am playing Braves this season. It's gonna be ugly. So,
Honestly, though, like, look, I have it on good authority
on good
that
order.
Not bad at all.
a player in high standing in FPF said of lightweight, they're going to win one game this season.
That must have been me.
What?
No, I predicted us to go 2-8.
It wasn't you.
Okay.
I said high standing.
I
I
am
love
Hall of
that you
Famer.
set me up for the joke.
I
That's
am a
my
Hall of
favorite part
Famer.
about that.
Yes. Okay, go on.
But yeah, so without revealing my sources, that's what the person,
Yes.
female or male, we don't
Yes.
know. That's what the person.
Both
'cause
looking
we have
up female.
co-ed. We have co-ed.
True.
It could be a high standing player in co-ed.
That's true.
You don't know.
God
They
damn it,
said
Vanessa Beery.
Vanessa Beery told me lightweight's gonna go 1-9.
Did they retract their statement since?
I haven't spoken to them about it since. I don't talk about you in my spare time. But so
Was it Darren?
I'm not gonna say it, so stop guessing.
God damn it, Darren.
Was it you?
It wasn't me. Actually, I
You
like
said I standard.
Yeah.
I like the
Well,
version.
he likes to think he is high standard.
I like the version of the team that was actually registered. I was like, this would be a good team. But then I found out
None of them are
this
there.
may or may not be the team also. So it's like, I don't know what to make of it. So, whatever.
Yeah, no one knows.
I also don't do predictions. It's not really my
I also
thing.
don't know what to make of it every week. On what is it?
finds a guy.
The week 3 game when Stefano was scorekeeping.
Yep.
At 2:00 we had 3 players.
Mhm.
The game was at 9 or something, and we won.
But so, like, will you have a playoff roster?
So having this forfeit really helps because everybody gets a game played.
That helps, eh?
Yeah, so that's gonna help us in the long run. But yeah, most of the guys that I bring in, there's a reason why I'm bringing the same guys over and over because I don't want to just bring random subs. There's a bunch of guys who told me they wanted to sub for lightweight, but they couldn't commit to the full season. So you're gonna see that pretty much the same faces coming back here and there. But the problem is we're not gonna have the consistency.
Is that the
roster.
equivalent of people just saying, I'm not paying to play with Simon?
Yes, most likely.
Alright.
But also, if you ask them every week and they miss after games, you realize it's not just money issues.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like, if they would have showed up to the first 4 games, would have been different. But
You can't sit with us beating up on Jasmin and Sons. Well, no, we won't go to that one because we're gonna get Alkaholiks on a call later. By the way, they call this a tease, a poorly constructed one.
Yeah,
But they call
very
this a
bad.
tease.
Usually they call this a mistake.
Yeah, nope. We're spin zone. We're reframing it.
I mean, we
We're
could,
reframing
we could
it.
talk about the game.
You
and
positive lifestyle leagues.
Then,
It's a teaser for the future. We're gonna get on with Alkaholiks, Division A&B analyst, as well as
well, not really.
he's an analyst.
Did he ever cover spring? I think he only did winter.
He's an analyst because he's coming on the show,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
and he's gonna talk to us about his game as well as some other ramblings about the division. And depending on how much he's drank so far tonight, we'll see how interesting it gets.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Game of the week: Alpha T's 2.5 Dans, 2.5 Alkaholiks.
No
No
JT.
No Joey Taylor. Carmen Palice replaced him. Is that an upgrade? Question mark.
I mean, look, it's a lot.
Well, let me
so
ask
no.
Stefano because you're obviously biased about Joey Taylor. Stefano, is that an
Joey.
upgrade?
In my opinion, they each have their own.
Oh my! Don't tell Carmen that. He's gonna rip you apart.
That's okay. Let him. Anyways, they both have their strong points. Carmen is more orthodox, I should say. He has more normal stance at QB than Joey Taylor.
Yes.
He has a better arm than Joey Taylor because he
Yes.
could actually get the ball.
But who has
downfield.
more wins as quarterbacks as 2.5 Alkaholiks?
As 2.5.
2 for Joey Taylor, 0 for Carmen.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
fact.
But
You realize no matter what happened, Joey was gonna have more wins.
but also, no, not if
For
you
this
ask
team.
Oh, for his team. But
For
if
this
you
team
ask
this season.
who as a quarterback has more
for
wins,
this team, for this season.
they also have the same amount of losses.
fair. So same.
Same season.
I don't know. I think I would have lost to Carmen.
Because this was the game of the week,
fair.
we got to look at Carmen's stat line. So those 3 INTs that he threw are actually inflated, right? Because one of them was on the last play of the first half.
Yep.
The other one was this weird thing into Mike Piercin's
was
shoulder that
a pick six,
stuck
though.
like super glue.
It was a pick 6 though. That
It was a
changed
pick
the
6,
game.
but it wasn't like an intent. Like he shot the ball and
Yeah.
like he caught it.
It was
It literally
different.
just hit him and just stayed there like Velcro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I love Chris Rivera, but that was not his best camera work on that shot because you sort of don't see where the ball is going
Well,
until
he admitted that. when he
Mike has the
posted.
ball.
He
But-
admitted it when he posted.
Well, but like also we're not the NFL. There's one camera.
Oh
That's
no,
also-
for sure. But what I like about this game is the 2.5 Alkaholiks actually like made a decent comeback in the game, and they basically scored to tie the game. They went for 2 and Paul Lepia, who never dropped the ball,
Yeah.
which
That's
was
correct.
very right. Like if the ball's thrown at him, usually it's a catch, and his big body makes sure nobody else can contest, and he just dropped it, which was odd a little bit.
So
It was
going
a
back
good
to the
game.
original question, I do believe that Carmen is a better quarterback than Joey Taylor.
Is he better for this team?
For the
though?
team, though, I wouldn't say. I'm
But
just
then-
like single stat, like
Well, I look at
comparison,
this.
straight up comparison, no. But straight up comparison, Carmen is better. But like when it comes to playing with this group of people, Joey Taylor.
Well, I feel like this is actually for the first time in a while one of the better built rosters for Joey Taylor.
Well, even for Palice though, I mean,
Well,
they're all receivers that can dominate one-on-one matchups.
yeah, but he's never
right?
played with
Who's
them
your
before.
weakest receiver here on the field? Don
Danny.
Benevento,
Yeah.
I guess.
Danny.
maybe I
Dom.
don't know.
Danny Demore.
It's
Not
not Zach and it's not Paul. Brendan Elward is incredibly fast.
Yeah.
So I would say like Dom or Danny, but I mean they're both talented. The problem is we say for this roster, but this is not really a Joey Taylor roster either.
Exactly.
Well, no, but the players. Okay, so they're not guys traditionally from 2.5 Dance, but like Danny Demore, Zach Zwern, Don Benevento, Brendan Aylward, they're all guys who are precise with how they occupy zones.
Yeah.
Don Benevento has experience now playing with him. Brendan Aylward has experience playing with him. Brendan Aylward's had experience throwing in this system as well in lower divisions. And Paul LePierre is just this big body, so
Paul fits every scheme.
yeah, because you don't need accuracy to use Paul LePierre.
No.
He's just
Paul-
a big
Paul
middle
is
finger,
just
and
a-
you just toss it
Paul
towards
is
the
just
middle finger.
good wherever you put him in any team you put him. Like
All you have to do
he's
is throw
all-star.
it up. All you have to do is throw it up. You can aim for his chest, miss it entirely, but he'll still make the catch.
Yeah.
Because as long as it's thrown up, he's coming. He usually
it
comes down
doesn't
with it.
matter, man.
So I mean, it's a well-built
That's
roster for
ridiculous.
anyone in
Yeah.
general.
I could
But I
probably
think-
do damage with this
I
team.
think
then again.
I like the way this team is built for Joey Taylor specifically, and someone has to take the opposite point of view. So
There you
that's
go.
how the show works.
But they are 2-2.
Sorry,
They are
They are.
2-2.
and both those wins were with JT at quarterbacks.
Yep. But he also lost.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
No, but the one like I saw the week one. What the week one was against us. He didn't play well. Joey had a. He
Yeah, it
hasn't
was
play, he
definitely
didn't
a
play the winter. Didn't help. Came into like.
He didn't play quarterback in the winter.
No, but that's it. But he didn't play winter season, so there was some rust there. A bunch of new guys who hasn't played in the system in a while. Like Danny plays a lot with Alkaholiks, who has a very different system from Joey Taylor. Paul Lapierre was trying to learn what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, honestly.
Right? So there's
Yeah.
a few things like that. It doesn't help. And but he got the rust off, and the second game it was much better.
And now we're on with Alex Hollowak.
Yeah. What?
Well, but is he on with us so we can set up the game?
But what did you tell me to wrap it up? We're not ready.
Maybe you could let me know next time.
Yeah.
That's a terrible setup.
They don't hear the sounds.
I
That's
understand,
why,
but
that's why I was keep rambling until he told
but
me to
you
cut
can't
it
'cause
off.
You have to set up the game. You can't sit with us.
Or you could just say, "Hi, Alex. How's it going?
No, it's dumb. Stop being dumb.
How's it going, Alex?"
Hey, fellas,
There
what's
he
going
is.
on?
The worst.
Yeah, here I am.
Fellas.
Joining us now to talk about the You Can't Sit With Us game.
My time was better.
Peeze, Steph, Simon, what's going on, guys?
That goes it all.
What's up, bro?
Do me a favor.
No.
Find the largest body of water and go walk inside of it. Just
So
walk
to
it.
waste water.
I hear Lake Ontario is really nice.
Yeah. Just keep walking. Just keep going.
All right.
How's it going, Hollow?
I'm doing good. I'm just chilling out at home. Actually, I'm brewing up a batch of kombucha as we speak.
How is that
so
going? by the way?
keeping myself busy. It's good. It's good. It's it's got a bit of a rancid feet smell, but it's got
Yes.
lots of probiotics and lots of good stuff. So
Kombucha.
part of the it's a secret salve, I'd say, to getting older and trying to combat the effects of that while still being a productive quarterback in FBF.
So I know you like probiotics, but I consider myself more of an antibiotic.
I'm more of an amateur biotic. I don't make money. I don't make money as biotic. So how's your Scobie doing?
Scobies are healthy, man. Scobies are healthy and multiplying. It's Scobie season right now, so
I love
they're
that-
sprouting up.
Of everyone watching and of everyone in this room, only 2 people understand any of these words.
I have no idea what
Only
Scobie
2 people understand any of the things that we're talking about.
That's okay.
Well,
Makes for great
I'm
radio.
watching Simon and Steph on camera right now with their pasty white skin, and
See?
I
Wow.
can
told
tell
you
these
I
guys
look really white.
these guys are lacking some nutrients, so
I'm-
they don't
I'm
know
here
what Scobie is.
complimenting
I've
you.
been saying they need a tan though.
Why do
But
I look
I
so
gotta
white?
say-
I don't get it.
By comparison, I'm looking extra tan.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for showing up today.
I feel
Thank you, Mo, for missing today because I look
No,
like
no.
I look like I've been spending
here
days in the sun.
complimenting
Now I give them
Alex.
jaundice.
Oh.
So Alex, you want to talk about your game this week?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Why
Well,
did you have
aside from
such-
the fact
You got to ask me a question and I'll answer it.
Okay, so
That's how interviews work
Oh,
largely.
okay.
Why do you have 5 incompletions?
Well, 2 of those were before half, with the shot clock running down, and then the rest is cost of business. That's all.
Man,
So
I'm
is it
looking at that
because
stat line, it's
you're a
insane.
worse second half quarterback because
Oh.
you had only 2
It's
incompletions
the
in the
setup
first
right
half?
there.
So
Yeah,
maybe,
that's right.
Maybe you're not clutch.
No,
Setup.
the thing was this week, Jasmin and Son showed up, and we
really
knew
did.
before the game that Von Dram wasn't going to play because he's on both teams, right? This is one of those odd situations
Yeah,
where he
he
happens to be
decided
on
not
both
to
teams
play
playing
either
each other.
Mhm.
He quoted an injury concern, and he was out of the game. But Jasmin and Son showed up with a roster, though. We saw some of the guys walking in. They had Pat Jerome, they had Hug, they had the regular Viens brothers. So they looked like they were going to come to play, and they did. Fred Viens is a very polished quarterback. He's been around the league. He kept up stride for stride. They actually took a 1-point lead midway in the second half on a convert, and then just down the stretch, the ball kind of bounced in our favor. So it really could have gone either way in this encounter.
So what was the turning point for you guys in that game? Was it that interception?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess to set the scene, they had taken they scored the touchdown to tie, hit the convert to go up. We marched down, scored. I think we missed the convert. They went into their sets. They got upfield around the midway point. Fred Viens threw a quick out to Pat Jerome. The historically sure-handed Pat Jerome bobbled it, went up in the air momentarily, and it gave. I feel like such a tool. James O'Hayan, who was our sub, he had a chance to sweep in underneath and take it back for us on the interception, and then we kind of put it away from there. So it was definitely an interception that Yeah, it was definitely an interception that did it for us in that one. Otherwise, you guys see the score. This was just like a late night West Coast throwdown. Like we were just going at it all game.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Did you catch any other games in Division A and B?
I saw the game of the week. The one
Who
you
did
guys
that
were
one?
just addressing. I definitely think that Joey Taylor is a better quarterback at this point than Carmen Polici. I respect Carmen Polici. I think Chris Rivet did a wonderful job capturing that moment between Carmen and Paul Lapierre there, where he kind of slows down the film. It's just pays an homage to like two of the historical greats in our league. But at this point, Joey Taylor is the Hall of Famer, man. He's definitely the guy that 2.5 Dans are going to want there down the stretch.
Hot take hollow, man.
Besides that, I saw Outsiders and No Regard on an amazing game. Another if you want to see excellent quarterbacking 101, this was it. Wyeth and Pecker were just going at it, blow for blow all game. None of them missed. They didn't miss a drive. Pecker told me before the game, he's like, we're screwed. I'm like, why are you screwed? He's like, he didn't believe his defense could stop Outsiders.
He always does that. He always thinks they're out. And
Yeah, he always. But yeah, no matter how the game's going.
And I was telling him, like, you never know what happens. Tip ball, maybe the guy makes a mistake. But no, Corey Pecker was right. Kevin Wyeth was phenomenal in this game. Here's the setup. No Regard is getting the ball in the second half. Game's tied. There's 2 plays left before half. No Regard marched down and scored. Left 2 plays on the board only. It looked like No Regard might come up and take the momentum in the second half. Kevin Wyeth takes the 10-yard drop, touching his own end zone, throws a thunderbolt that just basically skims the roof at Papineau, but doesn't touch it, obviously, and goes right to the back of the end zone. It's 55-yard pass, it looked like, and Serge Pilon just ran past everyone, caught it, kept his feet in bounds. It was absolutely incredible. And then Kevin Wyeth, when he came back to the sideline, the first thing he said is, "Holy shit! There was 2 plays left. I thought that was the last play of the half." But still, it was a sight to behold, and it was a good. That was a fantastic matchup. I think it shows. No Regard hasn't hit their stride yet this year. They've been dealing with some roster inconsistency. Corey's elbow tendonitis has been an issue to date. I mean, when he's healthy, he's like one of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the league, and he has been for a while now. But health has been a concern for him so far this year. But I think this was a good kind of jumping off point for them.
Braves took it to Dream Killers. They went 44-24. Not a lot of surprise necessarily in this game. Braves, to me, are the runaway favorite this season. Do you agree?
Well, no, as a competitor in the division, there's no way that I can agree to that.
I only said that to set you up. You know that,
right? There's absolutely no way I can say that. But I do think that they are the favorite. They have the most polished team, the most experienced, the most confident right now. Maher is a phenomenal. I firmly claim that the combo of Maher and Gadi P is probably the best 2-way combo in the league right now. And then you throw in Chevalier, and that probably makes it the best trio in the league. So those guys are just playing at another level. This game, I spoke to Mario before the game. He told me, I saw you just played against Braves. I'm going in tonight. Anything that I should know? And I just told him, really, no, it's just a really tough team, great defense. Just throw it wherever you can and hope for the best. But in terms of strategizing against them, there's really not much you can do except hope for kind of a perfect offensive performance.
Yeah, it's just go stride for stride and hope. Not even there's a mistake. Hope you don't make a mistake.
Just do your thing and hope your defense figures it out, I guess, or you get the last ball before the half or something like that.
Yeah, you got to beat the Braves. You got to really kind of play the clock game. You got to try to get the last drive of the half. You got to try to get the first drive of the second half. It's probably the hardest team to beat. Just playing straight up. So you really got to kind of manipulate those strategies as much as you can.
Dad bod finally. Well, they've won two in a row now after starting 0-2. Non-Hall of Famer Sean Abram in this one, going for 5 touchdowns, a couple of interceptions. But just overall, stayed with it and beat BYOB 34-32. Any thoughts on this game?
So dad bods, this is what dad bods do. They start slow. They're kind of lethargic. They make the mistakes at the beginning of the year, and then right around the midpoint, you start to see the real dad bods as they start to gear up for the playoffs. And I think starting 0-2 kind of it kind of pissed them off a bit, and you can see they're playing with a bit more grit the last two games. They think that they should have won this game by a lot more than the 2-point score indicated. They thought that the other team got lucky on some occasions. Sean Avram, he hasn't had his best start to date, but he's a magician. He's got a whole bunch of tricks up his sleeve. I think he's going to get going. You see that connection bubbling with Avram and Marco Bertoldi. So the question that we put to them this week is like, is there going to be some receiver controversy on Dad Bods with Bertoldi stepping up to be the 1A guy where traditionally it'd be AJ Gomes? So we'll see how that plays out if that becomes a factor down the line. But certainly you see over the last couple of weeks, Sean is really favoring that connection with the Bertolds.
I do like that you compared Sean Avram to the creepiest profession in magician. That's probably not how you meant it. That is how I'm interpreting it.
I always tell him he looks like Michael Shannon, the actor. I don't know if you guys can visualize who Michael Shannon is.
Yes, I can. Actually, it's pretty good. That's
yeah,
pretty good.
So
I never saw it till just now, and now can't unsee it. Is this your first time throwing in Division A? Yes.
Actually, no. I threw in Division A last season for the freshmen.
Yeah.
But with your own team.
That's like I don't want to forget that as much as possible. I like helping out the kids, but it's definitely a scar on my record. But this is my first time with my own team throwing in Division A. It's a peculiar Division A that I was able to enter this year. I think it's been since 2014 since we had the last crossover division. I kind of dig it to date. I like Division B teams, the top ones at least are really good teams, and Division A is maybe not as deep as it has been historically. So I think it balances out really well. And as we saw this week, if you can sit with us, we were like one bad bounce or one good bounce rather from taking the L versus the Division B team. So they can definitely hold their own. Look at lightweight, dropping 60 this week without even having to play. So that's pretty impressive.
Simo's best game in his career.
Can we do something about that? Why are you giving 60 points for a forfeit? I mean, that's just making Simone look too good now, leading both divisions in points for.
Funny story, we actually had to bump it from 30 to 60 because it was convenient for teams to forfeit games rather than play them in order to win the PA advantage.
There was like a team that actually forfeited week 10 to make the playoffs.
Because they need to allow less than 38 points or win. So then if we are to lose, fuck this. Then we're just
you should I say make it something realistic for Simon. Give him 26 points on the board. Maybe 26.
It should be related to whoever was quarterback. Hello, now you've jumped into Division A. For guys who are more intimidated like Simon.
Yeah. I'm scared.
What did you find it at all intimidating to make that decision to go into Division A? Make the case for guys like Simon who are on this threshold who are
Sean
dominant. Well, he's another one. Two guys who are at the top of Division B. Make a case for them to come up and compete in the highest divisions in FPF.
Guys, look, there's no secret formula. It's like I'm playing the same game now for the past few seasons. It's just a question of I'm having really good receivers play with me, and that's what I always attribute all my success, if you want to put it like that, to is just I've been really lucky to play with a stacked team. And if Simon were to have that opportunity or Sean were to have that opportunity, I have no doubt they could compete in Division A as well. So you're only as good as your receivers to a certain extent, and playing with such competitive, hungry, talented guys also sharpens you and elevates you to another level, pushes you to like a greater level of perfection that you didn't think you had either. So it's kind of like a snowball effect, So you got to definitely get the team.
Is it more on your recruiting skills, or just you had a core that wanted to, move up? And because you always hear stories of teams like, oh no, we're not good enough to go, and the advice is always, well, go find some people to play. And it's like, oh no, I don't want to do that and everything. So it seems like there's a lot of excuses sometimes to kind of justify the lack of, progress in the divisions.
Guys in Division A that I know, that having spoken to them, they want to win, right? Like going into the preseason, teams were trying to build super teams, and it was all a question of who do you have on your roster before I make my decision. So it's very much a function of what kind of star level players can you get, and then at that level as a foundation, and at that level who can they get to tack on and to really make it a powerhouse squad. So I think that there is definitely it is FPF at the end of the day, and the name of the game is to score points. So anybody can come in. I think 2.5 Dans could come in with their kind of makeshift roster, but that has a great chemistry, and they can they can score and maybe steal a couple of games, and Alpha Tees are another team who are playing really hot right now in Division B, and I think they can compete with probably all the teams in A. But I definitely, you'll never know unless you try. I would encourage everyone to take the step up and do it, because we need to grow this Division A.
And then a follow-up question on that. So you mentioned super teams. Division A has a harder cap than Division 1 usually, so it's 545 for Division A. In winter, Division 1 technically has a cap of 560, but, I mean, it's a negligible cap. Do you think that enforcing a cap in Division 1 or A at a much more aggressive level? So imagine if we put it at 530 this year, right? Would that force teams to be more at parity and have to go try and recruit and maximize, I guess, the players they pick up? Or is that just going to break up teams to the point where no one wants to play anymore?
This worked out favorably for me in the end. So obviously, I'm on the camp that I do like the hard cap. I was able to get my team together because of the cap, because essentially the outsiders were constructing a monster team that probably would have destroyed everyone, and they couldn't get it in the end because of the cap. And as a function of that, it kind of created some doubt, and we were able to kind of convince our players to come back and play with us again. So I'm an advocate of it. I think it creates more parity. It gives people more reason to jump up and to try to be competitive. At the end of the day, nobody wants to go into a division where they know they're going to get smoked, even if it's experience, even if you're getting those reps. It's not worth the $225 per player, So definitely making the division more competitive is a great initiative.
The other thing I've been saying for a little while is there's a bit of complacency, I feel, with high division teams that don't look to the divisions below them for talent. Whereas Hollow, you're a guy who's played low divisions, and you've brought a lot of guys who started in Division 5, or you yourself started in Division 5. And then there's guys playing all over the low divisions who are CJEP University players, guys who are excellent athletes. Julien Payman played in Division 5 forever, is now the rusher for one of the two top. If you look at two of the top teams in Division A right now, they both have guys who are playing important positions on their teams who are perennial Division 5 players. So do you think that the onus is a bit on these captains to try and do a little bit of that scouting, to try and find, even just speak to guys who watch low divisions, to be like, hey, do you know anybody in low divisions who can compete, and not just assume, oh, well, I don't know this guy, therefore he's terrible?
Well, I came up from the dirt of FPF, from Division 5, so I'm never afraid to lay in it, So I like to go and I get to scorekeep, so I get to watch some guys play from lower divisions. There's a ton of potential budding in this league just below the surface of the upper divisions. And there's a lot of guys who want to try out the upper divisions as well. I get a lot of requests on a regular basis. Hey, man, if you ever need a sub, let me know, and it's just a matter of getting more teams to register for these higher divisions, and then forcing them to go and find players and to go and recruit these guys who are hungry and who are talented and maybe need a little bit more reps in order to be polished enough to play in the top division, but who can definitely develop. If you look at guys on our team, Justin McLean was a Division 3 player a few years ago. Chris Millard started in Division 5, and now these guys are premier FPF talents, probably top 5, 10 players overall.
Alpha Tees are all guys from Division 3, Division 4, some guys from Division 6. And there was not a single one of them who played high division till recently.
Terry Tam is snapping in Division A. What do you know?
DeMoore.
So
there you go.
Danny DeMoore.
Yeah. So you want to pick some games with us, Hollow?
Sure. Why not? I'm here. Let's do it.
All All right, Eagle. What time is it?
It is time for the week of the games
Like-
of the 5.
Like you knew I was going there.
Yeah, I know.
How come you weren't ready?
I was
He's
ready.
never ready.
I'm always ready.
Never ready.
He's never ready.
Hashtag NR versus Braves.
That's a good game. I'm usually on the bandwagon with hashtag NR, but that said, this season I don't. There's just a difference between the top two teams, Division A. Give me Braves.
Yeah, I see Braves winning this game.
Braves.
Shout out! I wanted to do the shout out to Carmen Police. He's writing a fine article for Division A&B. He's very prolific right now in his writing skills, and he comments every week that the issue is he never knows who is going to show up to the game. There's been so much roster inconsistency. I think the only chance that NR has to win this game against Braves is if Maher is not there like he was in week 2. So give me Braves, barring that roster inconsistency.
Jasmin and Sons versus Dirty Dogs.
Dirty Dogs didn't play this past week. Forfeit.
Yeah.
That said, Jasmine and Sons have looked better throughout the season. Give me Jasmine and Sons to win this one.
Yeah, they're 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adjustments hasn't won yet. Dirty Dogs.
But they've been improving. Like the quality of plays.
Yeah, but
Well, I feel like last week was their
they made a few
was their
mistakes
outcome.
here and there every week. I think Dirty Dogs is just most like the Division B team against probably the best, like the deepest Division B team.
Jasmine and Sons have been getting very unlucky in their first few games. They've lost a couple of games by less than a point. You could have seen Marc-Antoine Vienne leaving the field after our last game, and he was like, "Chris, encore, on perd par moins d'un touché." He was like kicking himself. But so it's just a matter of time before the ball bounces into their court. I think it starts this week for them.
Dream Killers versus Outsiders.
Yeah, give me Outsiders. It's gonna be ugly.
I think Outsiders will win this one
I see
pretty
Outsiders
easily.
winning this game pretty easily. Yeah.
Hello?
Say that again, Hollow.
I said outsiders are taking it. Outsiders easy.
Perfect,
They're
perfect.
outsiders with the bag in this one. They're going to take it home big.
We'll skip this one for a second.
Sorry,
Dad
Dream
bod versus Lightweight.
Listen.
I just want to see.
Simon lose.
I want to see.
I want to see Simon lose.
I want to see Sean Abrams' face when he loses to Simo.
Oh,
Give me lightweight.
no.
You know what? Historically, I don't think I've ever beat that bods. I've played against Grip and Rip, that bods, whatever combo of Vini, Sean mix up. We always lose by a score every time, regardless of the standings. We're like 1-6. They're
It changes
7-0.
now, buddy. Make
We
him
lose
cry.
by one.
Make Sean cry.
No, I want Simon to
Make
lose.
Sean
Vote Dad bod.
cry.
Because you're already too smug. I don't like it.
That's true.
Hollow,
Hello?
who you got, Sean or Simon?
I got dad bods, guys. My connection's pretty bad, so I wanted to say one last thing, and in case I chop out here, I know we have a pick to make, but Travis Moses, very good guy from No Regard, lost the chain at Papineau this past week. The facility didn't find it, so if anybody listening to this happened to come across it, it was in room 11 of Papineau. They played on field 3 on Sunday night last week. So if anybody happens to come across it or heard about it, give him a shout out, and let's find that chain.
Yeah, don't be a jerk. Whoever stole it, bring it back.
One thing I want to point out for this game, Simon, you better win because then you will be quarterback number 12 of Division B or 2.
Wait a minute, 12.
Yeah, because Sean is number 11, so you would have to be under him then. All right, we have Alpha Tees versus BYOB.
I see Alpha.
Give me Alpha Tees.
Yeah,
They're
this is
very
gonna be. BYOB is struggling bad,
They
man.
are. Matthew Rene is just off.
I was gonna make a case and I didn't have it.
No, but the problem is that Matt René looks like
He's just-
he's being forced to do things he's not
But
comfortable
he's
doing.
not.
No, but that's what it looks like. It looks like
I know,
someone else is
but,
calling
like,
the plays
I've seen
for
their
him.
games and he's not
He's
forced to
uncomfortable as a quarterback. He's forcing throws, and his receivers are complaining.
Hello?
It's weird because BYOB was one of those teams that's been perennially competitive in Division B the last few years, and Matt René has always been one of the top 3-4 quarterbacks. This year, it's not clicking for them so far. Alpha T's, I think, take this one, and it looks like they play BYOB on back-to-backs, if I'm not mistaken. So if that's the case and that's indeed accurate, might be a good 2-week vacation for Alpha T's here coming up.
That is in fact the case. So
We got one last game.
your pick, hello, for this one last game. 2.5 Alkaholiks against You Can't Sit With Us.
YCSWU.
Aldo plays Joey.
Yeah, I'll abstain from that one,
All
guys.
right. Give me you can't sit with us to win this.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be close. I think that you can sit with us as a very good roster. 2.5 times it's a good team, but Joey might just be out of his depth.
I would have enjoyed it if Joey was there, but unfortunately the Hall of Famer is in Greece right now on vacation, so it will be probably Carmen Pulici stepping in for
The
them
other
again
Hall
this
of
week.
Famer.
Another Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, that's interesting then.
what?
I think against this particular team, because of who you can sit with us has on the team, I think Carmine is the better quarterback of the two to play. You can sit with us, but I don't think he has the firepower to rival with you can sit with us.
Well, that's the thing is Carmen's gonna need to score at least 6 or 7 times.
Because if you know who is on you can sit with us,
Yeah.
they all played Joey so many times that it's not gonna work forever.
Yeah.
Whereas Carmine is a starter quarterback that's gonna find ways to score. They're gonna put up a decent amount, but
but not enough to.
all those still gonna have another one of
you
these
can't say that's
perfect quarterback rating games.
Final thoughts, Hollow. Final thoughts, Hollow.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Simon, yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
yeah.
clearly.
Yeah, so I said thanks for having me on, Simon. I take offense to you saying I'm not a Division A&B analyst. I think I held my own in this podcast. So keep up the good work, guys. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Simon.
all.
Thank you for having me. I'm Okan.
Yeah. Steph,
Thank you for making me look like a member of the Addams family.
no problem. It was a pleasure. You did a lot of that yourself.
Yeah, look at that. That's.
Yo, get some sun, dude. I'm serious.
really should.
Don't worry,
Sure.
Steph. I'll get you some kombucha coming out to
There
the
we
field
go.
nearest you.
Kombucha.
There we go.
Kombucha.
Good night, Ramadan. I'm sure Mo's happy he can eat again.
Thank you, Simon. Steph, I'll get you some tacos in a second.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Halawak, for joining us on the show. Eagle, your job today on this show was slightly
Awful.
above moderate. So that's a
That's
thing.
enough for a 2% raise.
So
That's
D plus.
enough. That's enough. Which is fine because no matter what, I get $1 more than you. That's the arrangement. So 2% plus $1.
Don't you get $1?
Thank
less
you
than him?
for the raise, and thank you all for letting me be myself.
Don't you get $1 less than him? I thought Eagle
I
was
get
the most
$1
paid.
Because I'm the fall guy.
That's dumb.
When we get found by the SEC, I'm the fall guy. It's the arrangement we
I
have.
think Steph makes the most here. Pretty sure he does.
From FPF? Oh, yeah, 100%. We're slaves.
He also works in